So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can easily play awesome sounding 3-note jazz chords, which are not only easy to play and sound great, but will give you a stack of freedom when deciding what notes you want to play. So let's get into it. Here's what it sounds like. 3, 4. Hey friends, Glenn Seddon here, and I'm a professional jazz pianist, and my channel is all about helping you to sound like a pro. So we're looking at 3-note chords today, and so in that example that I was just playing, I was just improvising over the chords of Autumn Leaves. I had C minor going to F7 to start with, and you can hear those changes going on. Now all I've got here is 3, 7, and then I'm adding in one extra note for some flavour or some colour. All right, so that's how I do these 3-note chords, and you get to choose whatever the extra bit of flavour is that you want to chuck in there. So with our C minor 7, I've got the 3 on the bottom, which is the E flat, the B flat's the 7, and I'm adding in a 9 in this case for the flavour. All right, so that's our C minor. You can hear this. All right, you can hear that in the Autumn Leaves, right? And then I'm going to drop the B flat to the A, which means now I've got 7 and 3 of the F7 chord, and I'm going to keep the D at the top, and that actually means it's now an F13. So we've got, you can hear the chords change so simply, and I've only just changed one note. Now the beauty of these 3-note chords where you use 3, 7 and something else is that you get to be so creative in what you decide that you want to have as your extra bit of flavour. All right, so if I was adding in a different note, let's have a listen to how that might sound. Maybe I'm going to put in, instead of that D, I'm going to put in the 1. And then that's the 5. Or I could do the 1 and then go up to the sharp 5 of the F7. I could change that inversion around. Instead of having the E flat on the bottom, I'll have that on top, and I'll put that D back in there. And now I've got this little clash here going to that F7 like that. That kind of sounds really cool too, right? Now, I have a couple of rules. Rules are probably actually a little bit too strong of a word. A couple of guidelines for you. And those guidelines are that you want to put the extra note either on the top or in the middle of the guide tones, all right? So if we're using, let's say we were doing C major 7, just an example, right? We would have 3, 7, and then add something on top. So we might do the D there. Now I might add in the sharp 11. Now I could put it here, and that would sound okay, but it would also sound quite nice down there as well. But what's not going to sound all that great, usually, and I say this as a guideline. This is a rough guideline. It's not a rule that has to be obeyed, 100% of the time. Is that you could put it, if you put, see, I'm putting the D below the E, and it just doesn't quite work in the same way. So let's look at those chords from Autumn Leaves. All right, we've got, that kind of works, right? Now we go to that B flat chord. Now B flat, the 7 and the 3 is A and D. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to add in the 9 on this occasion as well. So that adds in the C, and then if I go to the E flat chord, can you hear how the chords are changing? I'm not playing the root note. I'm not playing the 5. But you can really hear what's going on. And here's how it works, right? The guide tones help you understand whether it's a major chord or a minor chord. Because the 3 tells you whether it's major or minor, right? And the 7 tells you whether it's a dominant chord or if it's a major chord. And so really, the guide tones really guide our ears as a listener. So that's how this kind of works. And the other notes that come are just the the sauce on the top, right? It's just something fun to kind of have a listen to, right? The other thing that's worth noting is what extension notes, you know, those 9s, 11s and 13s are worth putting in. Now, when I'm doing this, I kind of have this as my general rule. If it's a major chord, I'll add either a 9, a sharp 11, or a 13. So, here's our C chord. All right, okay, there's the C on the bottom there, E, B. The 9 works, the sharp 11 works, and the 13 works, all right. The flat 9, the sharp 9, doesn't work so good. Just the normal 11 doesn't work so great either, all right. But when we're playing the minor 7 chord, the 9 works great, the 11 works great, not the sharp 11, all right? So we've got, for C minor, we'd have E flat and B flat, D, F, or A, and they'll work quite nicely for a minor chord. Now with the dominant chord, you can go crazy, all right? Dominant chords are fantastic because you can almost do anything you like. Now I generally, when I'm looking at a dominant chord, here's my C7, so I'll add in either 9, something 9, whether it be flat 9, 9, or sharp 9, but I won't put all of them in, I'll put in one of those. If I'm adding in more than one of those, I might add in the something 9, you know, flat 9, 9, or sharp 9, and then sharp 11, and even a 13 or a flat 13 there. All right, so which you could think of as a sharp 5 if you wanted to, and you can also think of the sharp 11 as a flat 5 as well. That's where you get to kind of do so many different things with a dominant 7 chord. All right, so let's have a look at the last few chords there of Autumn Leaves. So we had our C minor, F7, here's our E, and I'm playing an E flat 13 here. All right, when I'm going to the A minor 7 flat 5, I actually like the flat 5 being in there. And I think the flat 5 works really well because it's not kind of the note that you're expecting, you know, all the time. When I hear minor, I kind of, my ear naturally wants to, well, not wants to hear, but expects to hear a normal 5. So the flattened 5, it's kind of an interesting note really in some ways. And I'm going to leave that flat 5 there when I go to the D7 chord, and it actually becomes a flat 9. So here's my dominant chord where I can kind of do anything I want. There's flat 9, normal 9, and a sharp 9. Hey, if you like the video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Really helps me to get these videos out to more people who might like this kind of stuff. Maybe consider subscribing, turn on that notification bell so you get to know when anything else new drops. All right, guys, hey, there's a video over here, or over here somewhere, that you might like to check out now. All right, all the best, guys. See you soon.